Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, September 8th. Looking on the impact map, quite a few. The big issue today after the lightning outbreak yesterday is this area in brown. Strong, dry northwest winds, 30 to 35 miles per hour. It's behind a cold front. Temperatures are significantly cooler by 10 or 15 degrees, but that humidity dries back out into the teens, and that's critical with new starts. We also have lingering thunderstorms in the south, and the heat, the very record heat that we've had, is now confined to the southern third of the Great Basin, and it pushes out. On Friday, it's cloud cover and deeper tropical moisture surges northwards Friday and Saturday, with the remnants of Hurricane K starting to spread northwards. But still on Friday, in our most critical areas in Idaho, we have this area in orange, winds in the 20s to near 30 miles per hour. Also, wind concerns on the lee side of the Wasatch into the Uinta Basin, where conditions are quite dry as well. So, a lot going on in terms of the smoke. Here's the smoke from a lot of our large fires. You can pick out that cold front right here, actually a pre-front and then the main cold front, and that front pushes southwards tomorrow. You can see that surface smoke starts plunging well down into much of the northern half of Utah and northern Nevada. Similar story on the vertically integrated smoke, picks out the cold front very nicely, and not so nice the smoke overspreading much of the Great Basin from north to south. We had a lot of lightning strikes, almost 1,900 strikes in the Great Basin, lots of new starts, almost 200 strikes here in our driest areas in Idaho. So a very active day. There was some light rain with them, but nothing heavy, just a couple of hundredths of an inch. And you can see the new starts in the red. We had moderate initial attack. Some of these larger reds are large fires that have popped up, and a lot of starts here, and one large fire up in the Payette, a new large fire. It has been bone dry, almost no precipitation the past 7 days before yesterday, and you can see near 0% of precipitation. It's normal for the entire geographic area. That is why just about the entire Great Basin is in that driest category of 5% or lower 100-hour fuels. I think this donut hole is just because of a bad observation site. Basically, we have not seen the Great Basin have this much dryness over its entirety so far this fire season. And the weather map shows a couple of things. Here's Hurricane K. First of all, this is the moisture that might start surging in later this weekend from south to north. Here is that cold front, the lightning that was occurring yesterday across Idaho and Nevada, now moving out into Wyoming and Montana. Drier air behind the front and definitely cooler. The tight packing of these height lines indicates strong winds, but also in the dry air. And the satellite imagery from yesterday kind of tells a tale. That cold front is kind of here, and this part of northern Washington is in that cooler air but dry air. And you see some of their fires, if you look closely, still continuing, actually growing in that windy, dry, albeit cooler air. And that's what we have in store for us later today. You can see that dry push, that tannish shade. It's actually cooler air, but it's dry. And that's why we have high risk for all of Idaho, northeastern Nevada, much of northwestern Utah for those winds. Otherwise, dry in all other areas. There's a moisture from Hurricane K. There are those winds, the orange to purple shades, and this is about 6 p.m. A little bit earlier, it's further up into here. So basically, all of this area has lightning starts ongoing, and we'll have winds gusting in the 30s. You see that humidity, despite the cooler air, drying out to near 10% in Idaho, in the low teens, Nevada and Utah. Still a similar pattern, still some lingering winds, dry air, cool air coming in. High pressure, though, building in with heat back over the Pacific Northwest. So we dry things out. We will have some lingering winds here in the Idaho mountains, especially on the western side, on the Payette, and a little bit on the eastern side as well. Again, dry humidity, so we're going to have another issue with probably good burning, not just today, but also tomorrow. And then on Saturday, that high pressure builds over us. So we get a warm up. The winds start diminishing, but we get a warming trend back up to at least 5 degrees above normal. But there's the moisture starting to push northward. You see more yellow on the map, even some green from south to north. You see those humidities in the southern third of the geographic area above 30% for minimum humidities, but still bone dry, where we have our fires in northern Nevada and much of Idaho. Some gusty winds, maybe 20 to 30 in southern Idaho tomorrow. Saturday. Looking at 3-day precipitation accumulations, this is that moisture moving up. Most of this is on the third day. We go further down the line, and then Sunday, there's the moisture surging northwards. Wetting rains likely in this dark green across much of Nevada and pushing northwards into Utah, but still dry, still warm on Sunday, so fires will still grow up in Idaho. But by Monday, that moisture does surge in there. They will get some wetting rains in there. How much still to be determined. It could even linger into Tuesday. So this is good news. We'll see if the models actually pan out. And if this actually does occur, then definitely could delay things down a little bit, even lingering into Wednesday in some areas. You can see by the end of the 7-day period, they have no more brown on the map. Everything has gone yellow or green. So that could be a good respite, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. 7-day precipitation totals here. You can see some wetness coming in. This is very late in the game, towards day 6 and day 7. Good news on the horizon. Third week of September, the 15th to the 21st, a strong above normal precipitation signal, along with cooler temperatures. So this will be a storm track coming out of the Gulf of Alaska, and this could help knock things down, but we'll see a lot of days before we get to that period. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.